ranks in the standings. So it should be a very fiery game with a lot of action.
You have to feel like if a team can take down Impunity at the moment, it's probably going to be CFO, given how dominant their 2 matches are. Those 2 wins. Let's forget about the loss.
Yeah, no one cares about that one. Yeah, just warming up for the season, really. But in terms of runes, nothing too surprising as far as I'm aware.
Okay, so they actually get the ward onto the Raptors here. I think it's always pretty fine to go for a Raptor ward against Sejuani. You're not expecting too many ganks to come out of it early, so just kind of spotting them out. And also, it can kind of tell you if she's solo starting sometimes as well.
Seems like it might be the case here.
Now let's have a look at kind of how these priors go, because I think while Impunity should be getting priority around that like level 3, level 4 mark, you kind of have to expect that Azir should get priority mid, and also that Zeri Lulu should get priority bot, at least at level 1, I would think. So while they will kind of have a window around, you know, level 4 and stuff to kind of contest, have to feel very early in the game, maybe not the best. Actually, yeah, maybe getting pushed in 3 lanes right now.
Oh, awesome. What a fun way to start off the night. You know, lots of drama, pause in the first 2 minutes. You love to see that. Maybe just getting the pauses out of the way for the rest of the night. Let's hope.
Certainly hope so.
But already, it seems like Rest, you know, has got that early level 1 lane control. Obviously, hard to tell with how long that'll last. But I don't know. What else is there to talk about, really? We haven't seen much in the game so far at all. I mean, Alex started bot side on the Raptors, whereas on the other side, Vice starting the red buff on the top side. So 2 junglers seem to be passing towards opposite sides of the map so far.
Yeah, I kind of feel like there isn't going to be too much actually happening in the early clears. There's just not a whole lot of CC kind of across the board, so I wouldn't expect to see too much happen, which you'd have to say is slightly better for CFO. I think if you can kind of just like stabilize those lanes, not really have a whole lot, feels pretty good coming out of the early game like that. I think it's really, really important, though, especially when you have Azir, that you really maintain those 1v1 lanes, right? Like, you really don't want to skirmish with Azir. Azir is pretty much unmatched in the 1v1 mid lane, but his skirmishing it's really not the best until you get one item, especially against a champion like Sylas, right? Sylas is kind of the king of skirmishing, and I mean, I'm sure you guys have all seen it in solo queue. When Sylas gets a kill, he goes crazy.
He does, yeah. It's really insane to see snowballing Sylas. I feel like it's a big part of Sylas jungle. Obviously, it's not the case here, but you know he really loves skirmishing and building up leads through that. And mission that is going to be his mission for this game.
Rest actually getting some pretty good trades here. Pretty excited to see how this works out. To be honest, I think it's more of like a team fight counter. Like I'm not sure you're ever expecting to pick up kills in the side lane, but you're kind of matching as like a big kind of DPS threat, I feel like, and just like an unkillable tank, which is pretty nice, I feel like, against Lucian and Sylas, because obviously they can kill you in a very long fight, but you're not really expecting, they're just not traditional tank killers, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that it actually does offer a certain amount of like zone control as well, because when you have the empowered Phoenix like floating around in a team fight, it really is quite dangerous once he's able to hit that demonic embrace. It chips out a lot of damage against the tanks as well. And I think, combined with the Azir, they do have a lot of space creating abilities available on their side.
Gemini actually using his mid and bot priority to go for this red. This is a pretty big win for CFO because, as I was saying, you don't really expect to win the early game. On the other hand, though, you do have priority, at least in the first few levels. And Gemini really leveraging that for, honestly, pretty big win.
Yeah.
Steals away the red.
And this is really going to suck for Alex. Purposely clears top side to try and come back to his red buff, but comes back to find that it's completely gone, chops the missing thing. And that really does hurt his skirmishing ability, which is what he wants to do with the Sylas, right? So definitely is going to be big win for CFO and big win for Gemini especially.
Yeah, I think you're still kind of okay with that. Obviously, if you... actually, some nice trades. Lucian army damage always surprises me. Kind of hits a couple abilities and suddenly half your health is gone. But not too much action happening so far. And I think you're fine as Sejuani here to just wait for that level 6. Obviously, that's when you really come online. Driver actually freezing this top wave. Does feel pretty good. Going to keep him safe from ganks. Maybe you can deny a little bit in the 1v1. CFO slowly inching some CS leads here. Got CS leads in mid and top.
Yeah, you have to say, Rest is already off to a good start. Not from the lane, but from Champ Select. He's picked up the definitely not UDS skin, and I have to say, that is definitely the best one you can pick in a professional match.
It is pretty goated. Okay, Alex is going to enter the river here. Could potentially look to set up something with Mission. There's no one around.
Oh, Jimin's really far up.
Yeah, if he queues forward, I think he might... Okay, so he still
Alex
has
charging
WE.
in.
Oh, he's fine.
Doesn't drop the flash. Jimin is going to slide out of that one.
I think it's also really nice respect from Jimmy and not to be looking to spam Qs in this matchup. Obviously, you're pretty low mana here and you haven't really chunk silos down, so there's no point spamming more Qs, just saving it to make sure you're safe from any of those ganks. It's really nice. Gemini.
Potentially looking for a dragon on spawn of 5 minutes here. Looks like they are going to try it out.
Yeah, wow. Okay. Is Alex going to look to trade the Raptors, or are they going to come try and collapse
They're
this?
trying to come. CFO aren't doing this very quickly. There's still 3k left on it, and they're closing in.
Yeah, this kind of looks good for Impunity.
Oh, CFO mission. He's looking for the angle. Doesn't quite hit the chains, but has the dash out. Hits the chains now. Gets the Kingslayer as well. Alan dropping a lot of damage down onto Shun, but Shun slowly chasing. And somehow, CFO, it looks like they're going to actually pick up the dragon here. Alex might look for a smite potentially, but actually forced the flash away. Bubble hitting one. And CFO somehow managed to come out on top there.
Oh, Mission actually might go down on the back end. He's very low.
Oh, Shun picked up the first blood. Mission dropping down. 10-second respawn timer. And that's a huge one for CFO. 1 Ocean Drake, 1 first blood for Shun. That's exactly where you want it.
Yeah, I think this is amazing for CFO. I really was expecting them to kind of just struggle through the early game, but actually coming out ahead is definitely kind of what you want. I think that fight might have been a little mis-executed. I feel like Mission, you know, uncharacteristic mistake from him, did lose a lot of health kind of before that fight really began. Which is not how you want to start the fight, obviously.
Yeah, it feels like he walked up, but was hesitant to throw the chains, which ultimately ended up in him getting chunked out quite a lot. Obviously, Silas does prefer the skirmishes, but not when he's starting off the fight with a quarter of his HP left.
It does feel pretty bad, and I think it's also a big win for mid lane. If you can get Lost Chapter, the more expensive item, at the same time as Catalyst, it really allows you to kind of get through that sustain. But yeah, big wins for CFO out of this early game so far. I think Herald will probably be the real decider for who wins this early game. But honestly, like you're already in a great spot as CFO. You've got the drag that kind of secures your scaling, and you've got a lead on your Zeri.
Yeah, not to mention, a couple summoners burn on the side of Impunity as well. Especially on the Sejuani Silas, you know, typically I feel like you rely on at least one of them having flash to hit their initial CC so that the other one can follow up, but both of them having it down is going to severely impact their skirmishing and ganking ability in the next few minutes.
Now, top lane has pretty much gone as expected. It is, at the end of the day, just kind of two tanks hitting each other. And honestly, I feel like going even against Cassante is not too bad.
But that is for a cheeky little zap onto Alan. Gonna get healed right up.
Okay. Yeah, Lucian Nami though, I feel like they've kind of missed a little bit of their window in this lane. This is really when you'd want to be pressuring with the Dirk, but just feeling a little bit behind at this point. And we've seen what happens when Lucian Nami can't get that lead and start really pressuring. It quickly goes in the favor of Zeri. That being said, Zeri hasn't managed to actually pick up a lot of wins yet. Mission might actually find something onto Jimmy in here. Gets a good chunk. Ooh.
Oh, but Gemini's here. Oh, the streamer shove comes out, but Mission gonna slide out of that one. Gemini actually, you know, good job on him sort of waiting out that wall first. But regardless, no deaths from that little, what do you even call that?
A scuffle.
A scuffle, a kerfuffle.
Yeah, Gemini, I think he played that pretty nicely. Oh my god, that's a lot of damage.
Still surprising you.
It's just so insane to me. Okay, CFO actually starting the Herald. They do have top priority, but Driver actually moves first. Is willing to give up a wave for this.
Oh, Rest is slowly chasing down Driver. Oh, but he stuns up. Gemini is dropped very low, and he's actually going to go down to Mission. Mission dropped very low, gets stunned up, gets streamer shoved. Rest is just in his Phoenix stance, dealing so much damage to Alex and Driver. Jimmy, I don't know if they're going to be able to pick this one. Driver's very low, but Jimmy is going to fall down as well. Rest's going to pick up this last one, and the Rift Herald, no, because it's actually gone the way of Impunity. And so even though... Oh, Slaytrue actually dropping very low as well. Shun drops down the Lightning Crash. Alan going to pick off Slaytrue in the meantime. Shun slowly chasing down. Tanks that whole culling, but doesn't seem to care at all. He's going to look for nature here as well, but actually does get picked up in the end, and the wave sitting in a neutral spot. But a lot of skirmishing just across the map, really. CFO opting into that Rift Herald fight, but aren't able to pick it up.
Yeah, wow, what a wild minute there. That was kind of crazy. So in the topside fight, I feel like Rest must have done so much damage in that fight. I really wish we could see the damage graph. And I think it honestly started pretty well for Impunity, right? They got the pick onto Gemini, but then they just kind of lacked the sustained damage, I guess, to actually win the fight. You know, Rest never really got in danger of dying and just keeps putting out that DPS. And then on the bot side, kills traded, which is honestly like not bad for Lucian Army, I feel like, because even though you don't want Zeri getting more kills, it does kind of accelerate you relative to everyone else, right? So you have to feel pretty decent about the bot side fight. Obviously the top side fight, not the best. Herald didn't actually end up going over to anyone here.
Yeah, and I feel like in the end that is still pretty good for CFO, you know, because they end up 1 kill up from that top side skirmish. And having the red field off the map is quite good for them as well.
Yeah, so let's have a look at this replay, because I feel like the start is pretty good. They managed to take out Gemini without really anything being traded back. But I think the problem is they've really got to wait for cooldowns. They've got to kind of kite this out and disengage, because all Silas is doing here is auto-attacking, and that's just really not enough. It's nice if Driver can trade one off the back end. Didn't manage to pick up the Herald, though. I really think if Impunity had gotten that pick and then kind of backed out a little bit more, they might have been able to win the fight. But obviously it's pretty hectic in the moment.
Definitely a mission. Potentially gonna get looked on here by Gemini, but he's gonna drive by. The Dragon is up. Cloud Drake. Oh, but Alex is looking on Shun and Slay True. Doesn't throw out the ultimate. Lightning Crash drop from Shun, but gets stunned up, bubbled up. He's gonna get chunked down by Alan, but actually they don't have enough damage. Cullen comes out, but Shun still surviving on 1 HP. But wait, Gemini and Jimin are here. Drops the Streamer Shove yet again. Gemini, he's looking like he's doing a lot of damage, but Tidal Wave and Bubble is going to stop him in his tracks. Alan doing some damage on the backside. Jimmy not going to be able to pick up Alan as a trade, but Alex going down for nothing.
Yeah, I think another big misplay from Impunity. So what happened there was CFO, they crossed mid, meaning that Mission had to give up priority in this matchup. And then at that point, if you're still heavy trading, if you're still trying to force gang spot lane, you're on a timer before the enemy mid jungle can get there. And unfortunately, they do just overstay their welcome.
Yeah, Alex looking like he's having a rough game so far. Seems like Gemini has his number, even starting from, you know, that red buff invade. He's been able to find a lot more gank opportunities. Alex was patient on dropping his ult there and waiting for Shun when he was the most vulnerable. But ultimately, they're not able to pick him up. They just don't have the damage. And we're sort of already starting to see the effects, I feel, of the solution not being really where you want him to be.
Yeah, so I think, bear in mind that at the start of this play, CFO's mid-jungle are walking down the river. So I think if you take this flash and just back out, like, you're completely fine. I think here they kind of overcommitted because they hit the bubble. And honestly, maybe now you could still leave. But Atlan kind of overcommitting just kind of, I feel like, seals the deal here almost. That CFO can get down. He ends up living. And honestly, with Sejuani going down, at least Atlan's still going to be able to farm. But giving more kills over to this Azir, making sure he actually gets to that point where he's relevant sooner, it's a big issue.
Yeah, and it does. Yeah, I feel like, you know, in that fight we sort of saw why some teams will sometimes prefer the Lulu over the Yuumi, right? Because we saw him provide so much sort of survivability for the Zeri there. He tanked up so much damage, tanked multiple stuns, but ultimately he's able to get out of that pretty much scot-free.
Okay, more trading going on the top side. I think Rest should be able to pick up his Demonic Embrace here, which is definitely going to feel pretty good. Can probably start to actually make a bit more headway in this matchup. Mid lane, mid and bot CS still pretty even. Kind of what you would expect, at least for now. Leandri is completed on a Jimmy though, so Azir, you know, kind of sucks at skirmishing before his first item, but after that does just have enough AP that he can kind of, you know, start to contend. I'd still give it to Silas at least at this point in the game, but Jimmy is rapidly becoming a problem on the Azir. Especially given that he's got such a strong front line in front of him. Yeah. You know, it's going to be, this Azir is going to be untouchable with a Vi and an Udyr sitting in front of him.
Yeah, it does feel like the team fights are going to be pretty smooth sailing for him. You know, the Johnny ult goes wide. Now, wait, Gemini and Shun looking on Nature. He stepped up a bit too far. Shun, it looks like it's going to be a pretty easy kill for him. Double bubble, trouble, but trouble for Nature. He does end up going down.
Yeah, didn't have flash, and I guess they must have spotted him recoiling, or maybe they were just looking onto Atlan instead. But did manage to find the Nami, take him out, and that's another pretty big blow for Impunity. They are gonna, you know, lose CS on the bot side and Rest actually pushing Alex out 1v2 and escapes. Okay, now this is the enemy team's top laner right here.
Yeah, Alex really not being able to, you know, rest at all.
I think Alex actually still got the blue. from what I can tell.
Yeah, he did.
But it does feel pretty annoying, you know, getting pushed out of the jungle by the top laner.
Yeah, it feels like more of a mental issue than anything. But taking a look at the gold difference, CFO, 2k gold ahead right now. You know, there's a little bit of blue there around, what, like the 8.5 minute mark for Impunity. But other than that, it's been CFO's game.
The CFO actually swapping their bot lane up here, so they're going to just look to keep securing these objectives while they're ahead. I really like this from CFO. It's tempting to just sit back and scale with your, you know, stronger scaling comp, but I think making sure Lucian Nami really never gets an opportunity to breathe, never gets that kind of, you know, that skirmish that they need in order to keep snowballing, just keeping the pressure up, I really, really like it.
Yeah, and it's only accelerating, you know, what is the weakest stage in the game, right? The early game. That regardless, they seem to be picking up so much gold across the map, you know, picking up the Rift Herald, Rifts, picking up that solo first turret gold as well. CFO, they're fully in control here.
Yeah, I'm really liking CFO's chances at the moment. I don't really see a fight not going their way unless somehow Lucian Nami can pop off. They are going to pick up the mid tower, which is pretty nice. On the side lane though, Alan does push a lot of farm under CFO's tower. Will they actually look for 2?
Yeah, Alan is still very fast. CFO potentially can get the charge, but I don't know if they'll be able to get much out of the rest. Trying his luck, and you can already see that Phoenix stance. What do you even call it? Empowered Phoenix stance with the Demonic Embrace on top, doing out so much damage to the tanky bruisers of Impunity. And I guess that's what 7k gold does for you.
And Rest actually has a pretty big gold lead for himself,
huge.
given that it's mostly just been 1v1's top, other than that single skirmish that happens. So, yeah, I'm liking this as the Cassandre counterpick, because I feel like most of the Cassandre counterpicks so far have just kind of gone even, and, you know, that's kind of been it. Or, you know, sometimes they've found a slight lead, but oftentimes Cassandre just takes it right back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far, Rest firmly in control of this top lane.
And Impunity, they haven't been able to find those skirmishes that they were really looking for with their team comp. Dragon is coming up very shortly, but it's really going to be on Alex, I feel, to find that opening pick for them.
Yeah, now Shun doesn't have cleanse, so potentially vulnerable for that. And Impunity...
Driver looking. Ooh, not much. Stunned up 2, but false alarm.
I do think you have to fight this as Impunity. You definitely don't win the scaling battle. So taking some of these skirmishes before you fall too far behind, I think is pretty important. Mission isn't here yet though. Does have the TP.
Yeah, even if CFO do feel a bit ahead right now, the gap is only going to keep getting wider. Impunity feeling pressure to do something here. Driver going to be the main driving force with him entering this river. But Alan taking up a lot of damage as well. CFO, Dragon drop to 3k. Oh, Gemini looking at, oh, but the smite misses. Alex picks it up. Cease and desist, dropping onto Driver, but Rest is doing so much damage and he's so tanky. Gemini is going to survive on 1 HP. Rest, he's unkillable. He's dropping the Phoenix stance multiple times. Alex and Atlan on the run now. Driver isn't able to get over the wall. Oh, does drop the flash, but CFO do lose the Dragon for that. Pick up 1 kill in return, but overall, it's a good game staller for Impunity, I feel like.
Yeah, I think managing to get the Dragon is definitely nice. On the other hand, CFO picking up another kill, which definitely feels good. And also, just in that fight, Gemini on the Vi got so low. Maybe we'll see it in the replay here, because Mission actually had a pretty good flank at the start, and it looked like Gemini was just going to instantly go down, but the damage just kind of runs out here.
Yeah, Gemini gets stunned up and just pretty much popped instantly.
Yeah, he's so low, and no one can quite finish him off. And in the meantime, Rest is just putting out tons of damage as well, and both the CFO carries just getting to free hit. There's a lot of magic resist completed here for CFO, so the Silas really just struggling to manage to actually pick up the kills.
Yeah, it feels like it doesn't get much easier for him as well as the game goes on. CFO going to keep getting tanky, especially Rest. He's picked up his... Oh god, I forgot the name of it again.
Divine Radiant Virtue?
Radiant Virtue, that's the one. Picking up the Radiant Virtue as well. Gonna superpower him up even more. And he's already feeling very unkillable while dealing a lot of damage. Impunity, we'll have to see what answers they have for him, because I feel like especially in these river fights, you know, the amount of zone control his ult creates is just huge. You know, it pretty much covers like 3/4 of the river, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay. Now next objective is this third dragon in 3 minutes. And I think this just gets better and better for CFO here. I honestly don't see Impunity winning a fight unless they can get a pick onto Shun or Jimmy before they start. But both those champs have enough safety here. And really the kind of engage from Impunity is very it's very like obvious here, right? It's really just the Sejuani. If you can respect that, you should be fine.
Rest and Driver having a little bit of one-to-one time, but Driver dropping very low. Really not winning out in that trade at all. Rest is full HP, you know, he's chilling. And we asked at the start of the game, is this Udi going to be able to deal? Oh, stunned up. Gemini dropping very low yet again, but is going to survive this time. Let's see if we keep ramping up the pressure all across the map.
Yeah, Gemini pretty consistently has been the engaged target, but he just has too much tenacity to be taken out right now. He does have the Merc Treads and probably has tenacity in his runes as well. And it's just not going to work. I feel like if you can't find a Sejol onto one of these carries, I really don't see Impunity winning a fight, and it just gets more and more difficult here.
Yeah, there's already the question of like, if they hit a Sejuani, do they even have enough damage to finish them off? But it is still the best chance of finding a way back into this game. Rest looking to bully Driver even more. I love those animations. He's still chasing Driver down. Driver doesn't actually have the flash available, so we might actually just get slow chased here by Rest. We've got Gemini waiting in the wings as well. He's got the Vault Breaker ready. Rest going all out, but it's just going to make him even squishier and even easier to pick off. Gemini picking up that kill. And as I was saying earlier, we asked, you know, is Rest on the Udyr going to be able to deal with K'Sante in the side lane? It seems like so far, the answer is a resounding yes.
Yeah, I'm kind of digging the Udyr pick, to be honest. It's looking real good. There's a lot of control in the jungle here for CFO. I think, as Impunity here, you have to start feeling very starved out. It's hard to farm these side lanes. It's really hard to get your jungle camps. And that's really not where you want to be if you're the team that gets outscaled, right? You're expecting to be able to kind of snowball your lead, kind of gather more gold.
You love that from Rest.
He knows he's unkillable.
Slay King, oh my god, he's really just... He's really getting the mental edge at all stages of this game.
Nazir kind of just quietly scaling into a monster here. Just took down a tier 2 tower and got another 600 gold. So while he hasn't really been the main carry yet so far, he's going to be very strong very soon. Actually really like the build as well, just going straight Leandry's Void Staff. Is going to be able to deal with all that MR on the K'Sante. And gold difference, yeah, it just continues to get out of control. CFO, they're playing a really good game right now.
Yeah, we saw earlier the gold difference was around 3 to 4k around that last dragon fight. Now it's sitting up at 6k. In Impunity, they have to keep fighting these dragons because, you know, the last one, it's let them sort of survive this long, and now, you know, this dragon itself isn't the sole point, but it is going to be soon if Impunity aren't able to, you know, find their way back into this game soon.
It's the third drag, so it's soul point.
Soul point, that's the one. Jimmy in the bush. Not doing too much here. Alex, keep your eyes on him. He's going to be looking for someone with his ultimate. Preferably, I think, Jimmy or Shun. It feels like the other people have too much tenacity for it to matter. But Rest, once again, dealing so much. Alex doesn't quite get the steal, but cease and desist, taking Gemini over the wall, but he's going to be getting locked down here. Hops the stopwatch, actually, but Shun, he's got his distance. Jimmy getting a huge Shurima shuffle. And Shun, he's cleaning up here. Mission isn't the Zonya's, but isn't going to last too much longer. But Driver, they're actually doing so much on the K'Sante. Taking down 4.
Whoa.
Is this the pentakill for the K'Sante?
Yo, it actually could be. Oh my god,
Is
Driver,
that 4 or
what
5?
a monster.
I've forgotten how to count, but quadra-kill for Driver. That was huge from the K'Sante. It looked so bad there for Impunity, but he manages to turn it around.
Yeah, that was insane. That fight was looking really, really bad for Impunity. And then both these top laners kind of just feel like they're taking over right now.
Yeah. These guys have been, you know, bullied for seasons. It's time for top laners to take back control. Both Rest and Driver doing a lot in that fight. That was a huge, I'm sure we'll see in the replay soon, but huge performances from, especially Jimmy, and I think, you know, with that streamer shuffle. I'm not too sure how Driver found his way back into this fight, but take it away, Shock.
Yeah, so I feel like it starts off decently for CFO. You kind of chase the Sedge over the wall, and your carries are still, you know, relatively safe. I do think that Shun got hit by a lot of CC in this fight, which, you know, did kind of make things difficult. A massive Shurima shuffle. You have to feel kind of protects the carries, but I think what happened is just, again, like too much damage taken from Shun from kind of just like random CC, and then Driver, he's just almost forgotten about and manages to just clean up everyone off the back end. Gemini makes a mistake of thinking he can fight a new champion.
2023 champions. Wait, when was he released?
I think it was late last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, you know, I feel like Driver did, you know, while it was a bit of a fumble in CFO's part, I feel like Driver had a really good way of finding a way into that fight. You know, he uses his all out not only as a gap closer for that one person, but also as a gap closer to get himself in amongst it with the rest of CFO and really able to deal out a lot of AoE damage. And going into that with, you know, his third Q stack with the CC definitely helped him out as well.
Yeah, now I do think importantly CFO still picked up the Dragon, and also Impunity's carries didn't pick up any kills. Like all the gold did go onto the Cassante, which is nice in the short term, but it definitely doesn't provide kind of that longevity that having a kill on the Lucian or the Sylas would here. So
yeah,
it's still, I would say it's as good as you can get for Impunity here, but honestly, CFO, they're still in the driving seat.
Yeah, it does feel like Driver, you know, to sort of take back control or take back the wheel, so to speak. He is going to need to find more moments like that in these fights. It feels like the rest of the team on Impunity, they don't really have the strength, they don't have the damage to be able to take out CFO by themselves.
CFO, they have really good Baron control here, and they also do it very, very quickly. Will they look to start it?
Ooh.
Actually are hitting it. I feel like, yeah, they have good enough control. At the same time, you don't really need to force something here. I think you do just kind of win the game in 2 minutes on the next Dragon, but CFO, they don't want to play it safe. They just want to win the game.
They're just melting. Alex potentially looking for something. Does manage to get the stun on Shun, but the Baron's already down. Gemini secured. And Alex is dropping very low here. Shun chasing down very slowly, but he does get hit on by Mission. Dropping very low, but dashes over the wall. And Driver, he's looking for another Cassante moment. Does find one. Jimmy with the Streamer Shuffle doesn't find much on the backside of that, but Rest doing so much damage with the Phoenix stance. He's dominating. He's finding 2 kills there, I think. I'm not too sure. But Shun, you know, I feel like Rest is just setting up so well for Shun in these fights.
Yeah, I feel like Driver did a ton there, but it just wasn't quite enough. Yeah, he's got a Darksteel as well.
Oh, 10 stacks. When did that happen? Oh my goodness. Yeah, Driver.
He has 200 AP.
It really does feel like a top laner's game. I mean, Rest and Driver. Rest creating so much space. Driver trying to take out as many members as he can with the all-out. But ultimately, when Mission, you know, isn't able to find anything on Shun, I feel like that's what decides the fight.
Yeah, I feel like Mission actually played this pretty much as well as he could, but honestly, it was just way too far behind. You see him get the angle onto Shun, which is like as good as you can get here, but it just does so little damage, and there's so much peel available for Shun. Doesn't go down at all, and can just like keep free hitting now that everything is gone. Yeah, both top laners put in a lot of work. Would love to see some damage graphs, because I feel like both the top laners must be pretty close to the top here. Actually, the Medjai's completed on dude here.
He's actually just
I swear it's good, man. He's unkillable, and it gives him movement speed.
Yeah, I feel the movement speed is even like the most useful part of that, because it really just helps him run down members, you know, in combination with the Ghost when it comes back up. And he's got an Elixir of Iron in his back pocket too. This guy is looking to end the game as quickly as possible.
Yeah, he knows that this next Dragon fight in 2 seconds is the most important one. CFO, they might actually just choose to give this up and try and take the base instead.
Yeah, wow. I mean, oh, this is weird. They're actually looking for the fight now. Impunity actually in a bit of a rough position. Gemini into the pit. Doesn't manage to get the Dragon secured by Alex, but Rest, he's once again in the backline, followed by Gemini. Shun looking as well, but Driver's got a flank. He's looking on Slade. I don't know if they've actually spotted them yet. Mission on the run now, but Driver, now he's by himself, and Impunity just going to disengage.
Wow, what a heist from Impunity. I think there that they just managed to kind of sneak through bot lane, and CFO, I guess, just thought that they would be mid. And I think that CFO there, they probably, you know, they don't need to give up this Dragon if they're in a better position, but at the same time, once it's gone, you probably just run it down mid, and you can take, I would say 2 inhibs, or at least 2 tier 3 towers. But actually not getting anything there, and impressive macro from Impunity, managing to kind of get that off the back end.
Yeah, that was strange. I thought CFO were going with the play of, you know, giving up the Dragon since they can pick up their last Dragon, I guess, in the future, and instead going for inhibitors and towers. But it seems like they sort of double back, and it's almost like they forgot the Dragon was even alive. But ultimately, coming back to the Dragon too late, picked up by Alex. Good smite from his end as well.
A bit of damage going over. Resto is kind of too tanky to really poke down. It's actually just emoting in front of their tier 3. You don't see that every day. I like the man though, a little bit of flair in him.
Yeah, he really is feeling himself, you know, he's pretty much got, I guess you could call it 4 items. He's definitely very ahead. He's got the Abyssal Mask as well, which is also helping amp up his damage. Keep him nice and sustained in those fights too.
Yeah.
Really good optimization from his side, I feel like.
Yeah, lots of cheap items from Rest, but effective one still. Actually putting out so much damage before the fight starts. Yeah. This is a high-impact top lane game.
I mean, it sucks because for Impunity, right, this is a really good scenario in isolation. They took away the dragon, denied the soul point, and on the end of that, CFO weren't able to pick up too much with the Baron buff, but at the same time, it's hard to find a sort of clear turnaround point for Impunity. It feels like their window in the entire game is sort of gone, so they'll have to sort of dig deep and find some creative ways to get back into some fine fights that are really favorable for them.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like delaying the inevitable given that you get outscaled, but the other way to see it is it's kind of giving you more opportunities to capitalize on mistakes, right? The longer the game goes, the just more often I think random mistakes happen just by virtue of the game going longer. So, you know, it gives you those chances to find a pick onto Shun and Jimmy, which is what you need to really kind of blow this game open. That being said, though, I think if CFO just play it disciplined, I really don't think Impunity should be able to win.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, though, we have seen CFO already sort of blunder multiple times, not only with the dragon, but also individually in these fights. So they are definitely not playing it perfectly. Shun getting hit by more CC than he should, and Jimmy, he has had some good Azerals, but the one in the Baron fight, it wasn't too great, not actually managing to hit anyone. So CFO, they do need to sort of clean up their act if they want to clean out this game.
Yeah. Rest, he's just kind of padding his damage stats on the sideline. He's been farming Driver for damage. He wants that MVP bad.
He must have the most damage in this game, right?
I'm thinking so, because every time you burn the Cassante, you just stack your damage up so much. Like, look at this. I wonder if he should go for a Void Staff and just kind of take him out in the side lane. It's probably a bit too greedy, but it would be very alpha. Now, next Dragon is in 1:30. CFO, they are on 3, so at any point can get the soul and really kind of use that to close the game out. Baron will be spawning even sooner, though. Rest kind of just one man controlling this mid wave.
DMing his old teammate a little bit.
Even if they get onto him, I swear he doesn't die. He just buys so much time here.
Yeah.
Purely actually 5-manning the mid wave, so are going to get control and want to retake the Baron.
Well, Driver walking straight into the river, creating a lot of space. He actually does try and find an angle on Shun. Shun is stunned up, tidal waved up. It does get shut down by Mission. Oh, but Rest is still on the backline, but he's got no one yet to back him up. Jimmy is on the backside, but Slaytrue is dropped alone, but Gemini is there on the rescue. Rest looking to see how much havoc he can wreak on this fight. Gemini dropping it very low once again, see if he can bolt break it out of this. No, goes back in. Gemini's in the thick of it now. I don't know how he's going to get out of this one. Driver has gone all out. He's looking for the stun, hits one. Rest doing as much as he can still. He's still alive. He's still, he's still trucking along. Double kill picked up for him. 8k damage in that fight from Rest's Udyr. Oh
that's
my god.
Absurd. I think that's just disastrous for Impunity. The fact that you get that mistake right, you find the kill onto Shun and you still lose because the enemy top laner is the one that is not only unkillable but is also dealing, 8,000 damage in a team fight. I mean, that is just insane, and I think Impunity, they just don't quite have the damage to kill this Udyr. And on the backline, I think Jimmy actually did a really good job of just kind of, look at this damage graph, man. Jimmy did a really good job of kiting Driver around. I think if Driver had actually maybe just stayed in the fight, it would have been better. But thought he had that pick onto Azir, but Azir can kind of just like, he can ult, he can dash, kind of just like waste a lot of Driver's time and never really manages to get enough done. So we see, the fight starts off really good. Insane engage from Driver. They pick up the kill on Shun. It's basically as good as you can get it. But I think Driver probably needed to stay with the team, maybe try and peel for the Lucian. Because I think here, just got a bit kind of kited in circles. And once Atlan goes down, the only damage left, if Cassante's not in here, is AP. And we've seen how much magic resist is on this team already. And they just can't quite take them down. And Driver just spends most of this fight running after Jimmy and as a Zonya as well, buys so much time.
Yeah, and Slaytrue even managing to stay alive in the end of that fight. Managing to keep his allies, enchanted up and really to keep on fighting. It did seem, I feel like for Jimmy, right, it's very well played for him, especially when you consider that, being in a situation like that as an Azir can get pretty dicey, but it's high risk, high reward. It feels like it pays out a lot. As we saw in that fight, he created so much space. I guess for Rest, the main damage dealer of CFO, the main tank, deals so much damage. But looking to engage. There's so much going on here. Streamer Shuffle has dropped down yet again, but Rest is doing so much once again on the backline. Driver is all out. Mission looking like he's going to be in a 1v1 with Gemini. Actually, Rest dropping very low, but does have the Gargoyle in his back pocket. There's another skirmish going on. Gemini does manage to pick up Mission off screen. Take him back around the back of the shed and really put him down. 50-second death time, and it looks like CFO, they're going to be picking up this one. First win of the night. Rest, he's ending the fight, full HP, ending the game. He's tanking the Fountain as well. He's just tanking everything in the game. We'll see if they can take up Driver here. No.
I think Rest had a lot of fun in this fight.
He for sure. He's smiling. Look at him.
Yeah, that was just insane. I mean, once again, Shun picked off basically as good as a start as you can get for Impunity, and it just doesn't matter because the tank assassin made DPS carry Udyr is still alive, 1v9ing the team fight. So, I mean, that's probably the most effective Kasande Kana we've seen so far. I'm not sure if that's just a Rest difference or Udyr's broken. I'm not sure, but if Rest doesn't get MVP of this game, I will riot.
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't seen that matchup much, obviously, but he makes it just seem like so easy. Straight from like the early waves, you could see he had control, was winning out on those trades, playing the waves really well, and just building up his lead, you know, inch by inch. And ultimately, he becomes this, as you said, unkillable tank, DPS, carry threat, moving across the fight, creating zone control everywhere. It's crazy. I guess he technically does count as a new champion, right? Because he got reworked as well.